So this is important to what I'm going to show you guys out there. So a muscle's varying ability to generate force, the example we just showed you in a squat, is true with every body part. Every body part is just a little bit different. But it's important to realize that if you're picking a weight that you can handle in, let's say, the short end of the range, it's going to be way too light to challenge the mid-range. So if we got a 150-pound dumbbell here and it came back here, oh, now it's 100, that would perfectly challenge that muscle. Otherwise, what I just did here was wasted. Like, I didn't challenge anything. My body was like, it's easy. Right now back here, it's like, fuck, it's hard. Conversely, the opposite end of that is if I pick a heavier dumbbell, let's say I pick a 150-pound dumbbell, and now I'm like, what happens when I get to about here? I can't get any further because it's too heavy for me to get here. So what does everybody do? Right? Everybody goes, oh, this weight feels really good down here. Oh shit, I can't do anymore. So I'm going to use every other up muscle in my body to move it. Are we trying to train everything else in your body? We're trying to train your lat. So if I'm trying to train my lat, I got to train my lat. I'm not trying to train my legs. I'm not trying to train my whatever, my throwing muscles. Just contract your fucking muscles, right? That's it. Contract muscles hard. So if we try to make an exercise as hard as possible, what would it look like? Well, it would probably be heavy, and it would probably be slow, but at very least, it would challenge that muscle through its entire range, right? It wouldn't be really heavy in one place and then thrown through somewhere else. So our objective today is to teach you guys how to load a muscle, every muscle out there, and maximally challenge it. And this is why Prime equipment has a cool opportunity for you guys, because you have three, I'm going to speak to the plate loaded stuff. It gives you the opportunity to load a muscle differently than just having all the load heavy in one place and light in different parts. So you've all been on shitty exercise equipment, maybe not here, probably not here, but at some other gym where it feels really heavy in one part and there's light everywhere else. Well, I want to be challenged. Like if I'm doing an exercise, I'm going to put one of you lucky guys here today, or girls, I'm going to put one of you guys through a set where every inch is going to be challenging and you're going to think you died. Like you're going to think you're going to die because you've never been there before. You've never challenged a muscle through one single rep ever, most people. The biggest opportunity you have with these new pieces, legs and back. Here's why. If you learn how to use those things right, it's like nothing you've ever felt before. Why? Because every exercise, pull-ups, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, 99% of back exercises are shitty exercises. They do not match what your body is capable of. In actuality, they're the opposite. Meaning where it should be light, where it should be light, it's heavy, and where it's and the opposite. Right? So it's opposite profile. So if I want an exercise to match what my body's capable of for back, it should be lightest here and get proportionally heavier here. And obviously in pull-ups and everything as well. And you can't do that. There's no exercise that exists on the planet without a machine. So when people say pull-ups are the best exercises for back, or dumbbell rows or barbell rows, it's not good, it's not bad. Acknowledge its limitations and how to offer what we call a complementary exercise. So where is a dumbbell row and a barbell row going to be challenging? The answer is it depends on the load you pick. But if I pick a load that I can't get back here, well then I've only challenged this part of the range. If I can pick a load that I challenged here, well then I haven't challenged this part of the range. Actually, this is a cool experiment. Anybody else have weak quads? Come here. Yeah. What's your name, man?
Kyle.
Kyle.
Yep.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, bud.
Grab onto that bench or that table. Face that.
Face this way.
Face that way. You face them. Actually, that either way is perfect. Lift your leg that way. Keep your butt back so you don't throw your hips forward. Like throw your butt back a little bit more. Good. No, stand up tall. There you go. So Kyle's got, call it 90 degrees of hip flexion. Extend your leg and don't let your hip move. Do that again. Now don't let your hip move. Okay, no, keep it there, but don't let your hip move. So what is that? What is Kyle doing? He's getting his quad short. He can't even use the weight of his fucking shoe. Thank you. Do you think he has weak quads or strong quads? It's just that when you put a muscle into it, I don't have to pick on Kyle, but realistically, if a muscle is going to be weak there, he's not going to be able to contract it maximally at any part in the range. And every one of you will find that is if there's a weak exercise, you're going to be really weak in the short range because you've never challenged it there appropriately. So these exercise pieces of equipment are going to allow you to still appropriately challenge what you're capable of in the mid-range. Like I'm really strong somewhere. He's probably strong as shit at the bottom of a squat or the middle of a squat or a leg press. But in that short range, he's weak as a kitten. These exercises are going to allow you to appropriately challenge the muscle compared to what it's able to do. That's cool. So I can put it, Kyle can start with the pink dumbbells at the top, with the 2.5 pounders, and then eventually he can work his way up. Right? That's cool. While still appropriately challenging the middle of the range. Right? Most equipment's not going to allow you to do that. Where you're weak, what happens? What does everybody do? They fucking bail out. Right? I know this is going to get hard at the bottom. Okay, well, I'm going to bail out. Right? If I'm going to do a curl and I get to the top, what does everybody do? They bail out as fast as they can where an exercise, or where they're weak, or where an exercise is hard. Right? So these exercises are going to allow you the opportunity to still challenge where you're strong while developing where you're weak. Cool opportunity. Okay, see it as an opportunity. Is it a necessity in exercise? I believe so. We're preventing injuries by changing disparities. If there's a big disparity in strong to weak, injuries happen. And we're allowing for the greatest opportunity for muscular development. Everybody with me? Everybody think I'm full of shit? Anybody think I'm full of shit? Seriously, I'm okay if you do. I'm a pretty confident guy. Just Kevin thinks I'm full of shit. Great question. What's your name?
Annette.
Thanks for the question, Annette. So Annette asks, with the 3 loading opportunities, will that help or hinder progress because you have bad knees? What's the answer? The answer is it's only what you make of it. But in reality, the cool thing about it is, just as I was saying a second ago, you're going to be really, really weak in certain places. And the best opportunity for overcoming injury is offering your brain stability. What is stability? Strength, right? So most people hear stability and they think wobble balls. Stability in reality is building integrity around a joint, right? Building muscular integrity around a joint. So if I can't contract a muscle somewhere, my brain just won't go there. So my brain will go, I'm going to tighten up. I'm not going to give you that range. I'm going to decrease mobility. So by offering the brain stability around a joint, you're going to decrease pain, increase mobility, because now your brain goes, oh, I'm strong here. I'm okay here. I can relax, right? So a lot of times if you have a tight muscle somewhere, it's often most people go, well, that muscle's tight. It must be something wrong with it. In reality, think about it like this. If that muscle's tight, maybe it's just doing more work than it's supposed to pick up slack for some other muscle that maybe isn't doing its job, because that muscle is really trying to keep that joint stable, because otherwise your brain's like, I might be in trouble. So it's doing twice as much work to compensate for something else that hasn't been challenged properly. So this exercise or these pieces of equipment will allow you the opportunity just to challenge it however much you're capable of, right? Whereas a normal machine, you put a weight on, you got to lift the whole weight, and it may be really easy in one part and really hard in another part. You can't change it. See what I'm saying? So Luke just asked, he saw a video of me on YouTube or something where I set up on it was a leg press or leg extension?
It was a leg extension, and instead of putting it back, you see.
Yeah, so I like to sit at 90 degrees of hip flexion, which means I basically sit up like this rather than where people lean back. Not always, sometimes, because I want to challenge the muscle in its most shortened position. And the muscle, one of the quad muscles crosses the hip. So I was just trying to get that muscle fully shortened as well at some point and challenge it. And then I might start there, and then I may lean back to continue challenging the knee extensors. A little more unnecessary information, but it's just because I'm always thinking about how can I challenge this muscle where it's weak. And if I know I can't do this and be strong, well then I couldn't possibly be using my maximum amount of load in the middle of the range, right? just logical. If I'm weak somewhere, your brain's gonna down-regulate everywhere else because it doesn't want to go to where you're weak. So if I proportionally become stronger, I'm increasing the integrity around my joint, stability around my joint, and my output capacity in the middle of a range. Make sense?
I think some of the people maybe feel like, how could, Tom Platz get so big legs? What was he good at? But now we got more.
Yeah, great question, man. No, it's a super easy thing to answer here. I'm looking for some demo models. Is anybody in here over like 6'3"? Anybody here tall? Anybody at long femurs? Come here. What's up, man? What's your name?
Austin.
Austin, good to meet you, pal. Stand that way.
Stand that way.
All right, everybody meet Austin. You have good quads or bad quads?
Pretty good.
Good quads.
Yeah.
You have long femurs? By your admission or somebody else's?
By just people telling me.
Okay.
That's when my calves are stretched out so far.
Interesting observation.
Yeah.
Put your feet a little closer together. How far did Tom Platz squat? About that wide? Okay, squat. Does that look like what Tom Platz looked like when he squatted? Why not? What's different? Whoa! He's not Tom Platz. So what's the difference? Tom Platz squatted, Ben Pakulski squatted with his feet together, and he got his ass to his ankles. Does that mean that everyone needs to squat with their feet together to build huge quads? We have different bodies. Our exclusive challenge, our exclusive objective is to challenge the quads, right? Who gives a shit what it looks like? Don't be attached to an exercise. Your only goal is to challenge that muscle. Whether that happens in a leg press or a hack squat or a squat is completely arbitrary. Your body doesn't know. Your muscle doesn't know. So Austin's doing a squat, looks nothing like Tom Platz. He's gonna spend the next 15 years squatting like that because Tom Platz did and never develop anything but a sore back. And he's gonna wonder why. So by looking back at this, do that again. Put your feet together. How much is he challenging his quads? How much is he challenging his hips or the muscles that cross his hip? A lot. So, good. Now stand up. Thank you. Great example. He's going to have massive glutes, but he's going to have a hard time building those quads. So in reality, now we could probably pick someone who's got short femurs. Everyone's got different proportions, right? Length of your torso, length of your femur, length of your lower leg. It's all different. So, and I'll show you how to use the prime wedges out there to actually make Austin. So I'll show you. We'll go out and do that out there. That's all that matters, right? If you guys can remember this when you're training somebody and when you're training yourself, it's a massive advantage to acknowledging like, hey, is this a good exercise or not? So why did Tom Platz squat that way? Because he could. Did it make it any better than if he would have squatted this way? No. Are his quads better because he squatted this way? Probably not. The argument that could be made, that I make in my mind, is when I'm out here, my adductors may have a greater ability to help in knee extension, which means the quads may do less. May. I don't know. Arbitrary. But here is not any better than here. This is not a glute exercise. It's just different angles, right? Think about the joint, think about the bodies as angles, the joints as angles, right? If I'm trying to take this joint through its full excursion and challenge it as much as possible, that's it. So if you can create an internal focus, what's happening inside my body rather than an external focus, the external stuff is only here as a tool for you to load it. That's it. What's happening inside my body? How can I challenge that muscle from its fully lengthened to its fully shortened position maximally? Questions?